the Bandwagon. You guys are awesome, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Marques Ogden, former NFL athlete, current inspirational speaker, and you're listening to the Bandwagon.
In today's episode of the Bandwagon,
I say, it's day 213. I believed I had found life. Boy, was I wrong. Being in situations like these really enhance your senses. I can hear everything from every floor. I can feel footsteps from yards away. Though, even these improved senses haven't been able to improve where I am. I'm lonely.
former NFL offensive lineman Marques Ogden joins the show to discuss his career and the upcoming Super Bowl.
And she said motivation is garbage. And she's right. When you think about it, I didn't have to get, you never feel motivated to do anything beyond your comfort zone. You either are inspired by something, you do it, but more than likely, if you're really, truly serious about it, you make a decision to change your life, and you start implementing that decision.
Let's get to it.
He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet. Blow rockin' Robin, 'cause we really gonna rock.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today is Friday, February 2nd, 2018, I think. I don't know. I'm not good at dates. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of the Bandwagon. Great show for you today as former NFL OL lineman and current inspirational speaker Marques Ogden enters the wagon. From the university in the middle of Wisconsin, my name is Alex Strofe. You can find me on Twitter at Alex_Strofe. Joining me as always from the University of North Carolina Podcast Lab, my right-hand man, my partner in crime, Mr. Victor Hensley. You can find Vic on Twitter at Frezeal, Frezeal 33. That's Rasual 33 on Twitter. Mr. Victor.
How you doing, my friend?
I was doing great until you got crabby beforehand. I was just playing some notes, playing some strums, and playing some guitar. I'm just trying to sound cool. I don't know. What's up?
No, here's the thing. I didn't get crabby, Alex. The thing is what the listeners out there need to know is, we prepare before the show. Sometimes we prepare for like 4 hours before the show. The thing is, Alex, is we prepare for so long and it takes forever is because you pick up your guitar and we waste 15 minutes of our lives. Because you'll pick up the guitar and you won't focus on anything else but playing a song. And I saw you pick up the guitar, who you apparently call Muggsy for whatever reason. I'm watching you right now pick up the guitar, and I'm about to get angry if you don't put the guitar down.
This one's dedicated to my friend Bob.
Please put the guitar. Jesus.
Gather around the campfire and sing our campfire song. RCAMPFIRESONG song. And if you don't think that we can sing it faster, then you're wrong. It'll help if Victor just sings along. Bum, bum, bum. You're like Squidward in SpongeBob SquarePants. That's what you are, Victor.
Okay, I'll take that. I mean, who are you?
What do they call those people that kill the vibe? What are those called again?
Debbie Downers? That's one. I've been called that before.
Yeah. Oh, I believe it.
Okay, listen. I'm a very upbeat, happy dude. But, like, if I need to get this show, on the road, if I'm ready, if I'm hyped up for this show, I'm ready to start recording, I'm ready to bring the content to our listeners' ears, you pick up the guitar, it's all over. You know what I mean? I know it's all over. I'm ready. Like, you ruined the flow with the guitar.
Wow. Wow. The chemistry is just not here today.
Nah, I think I need to request a trade.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into that field. How crazy has it been this week with trades, Alex?
It's been a weird
week in sports. I think it's only going to get better.
Alex Smith is a Redskin. That's strange.
Blake Griffin is a Piston.
We talked about that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't say we didn't talk about it. I just said it happened this week.
Yeah. It's weird, but
I'm telling you, I think next Thursday is the NBA trade deadline. It's going to be a big deal.
I think so.
I
agree.
think stuff's going down. Like a lot of stuff's going
If
down.
LeBron goes to Golden State, will the NBA even be considered a sport anymore?
Which he's not going to get traded to Golden State, but if he signs with them, it's over. I think it'll be over at that point.
Yep, I would have to agree.
So, do you think he's going to do it? Do you think there's any chance he would do it?
No.
Oh,
I hope not.
I think he's going to do it.
You
I
do.
think he's going to do it. He's going to L.A. probably. He's either going to Philly or L.A. in my opinion. But I could see him doing it. I mean, he left Cleveland one time to join a super team. Why wouldn't he do it again?
That would kill the league's ratings. I don't know. I don't think people. What's the point of watching when the two best players on the planet are on the same team?
No, there'd be the people that would love to watch Golden State. There's people that would just wouldn't really care about the NBA. They'd just be like, "Oh, I love Golden State. I love watching Golden State." Do you know how boring that would be? It would be so boring.
Yeah, you're right. You're
so
absolutely
boring.
correct.
But you know what, Alex? Basketball doesn't matter right now.
Yes, you're right. It's football week.
It's Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
It is the eve of Super Bowl weekend. It's not the weekend yet, so it's the eve of Super
it's
Bowl
Friday,
weekend.
so it's technically the weekend.
Well, it depends on what time you listen to this. What time it is in your region.
Well, isn't Friday the
It's
weekend?
3 o'clock. No. Don't you go to school and work on Friday? How's that a weekend?
Because you don't have to go to school or work tomorrow.
Which is why Saturday is a weekend.
Is Sunday? Well, yeah, Sunday's a weekend too when you have to go to school. I'm confused.
Saturday and Sunday are the only weekend days.
Yeah, but
Your weekend consists of Saturday and Sunday. That's it. I mean, right? Like your weekend doesn't. You don't start your weekend.
I don't
on
care.
Friday
Can we
morning.
talk about the Super Bowl?
I'm just saying. Wow, unreal. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Pats Eagles.
Pats Eagles.
What's going down?
What do you think's going down, Victor? The Patriots are going to win.
I disagree.
The Patriots are playing a team that doesn't match up with them well.
In what way?
Offensively, defensively.
Their offense is better than the Patriots' defense.
Their
They
defense.
They dropped 38 on the Minnesota Vikings, who have the second best defense in the league. 38 points.
Who is the best
38.
defense in the league?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. And what did Tom Brady and the Patriots do to them? They beat them in the AFC Championship game.
Barely. They shouldn't have. Barely.
And anyway, the Eagles, decent defense. Who's matching up with Gronkowski? Who's officially been cleared?
It's a great question.
I mean, they've had 2 weeks. They've had 2 weeks to prep. Don't get me wrong. So they probably both teams have great schemes in place. However, I forgot who said it. It might have been Skip Bayless or whoever it was. Somebody said you're giving Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prep for Nick Foles. Something
That
doesn't
matter. Here's the thing: is people want to act like Nick Foles is some scrub. I think I talked about this maybe even last episode, or maybe it might have been after the.
And I'm not saying Nick Foles is a scrub. I'm just saying Nick Foles isn't like a top 10 NFL quarterback.
Bill Belichick had 2 weeks to prepare for Eli Manning twice and lost to him twice. I'm just saying. I mean, Eli Manning's probably a Hall of Famer at the end of the day, but Nick Foles is not a terrible quarterback. He got his team to the Super Bowl. He dropped 38 on the Vikings defense. You know what I mean?
It's just hard. It's hard to pick against the Patriots. It's very hard.
I agree, but here's the thing: is I can't even remember who. I don't know who really the dude was on NFL Network. I told you about this before the show. I don't know. I don't watch NFL Network enough, and I don't know if he was like. I don't think he's like. I don't know who he was, to be honest with you. He was a dude, and he got me so hype about the Eagles. He picked the Eagles. He said everybody's picking the Patriots. I'm going with the Eagles, and he did this like inspirational thing about why the Eagles are going to win. And one of the things he said is, if you look if you compare the two teams, how many positions do the Pats have better than the Eagles on the football field? Not very many. He said 4, 5, 6 tops. I mean, if you look on the offensive side of the ball, the Eagles are better than the Pats in almost every single position. They're pretty close at tight end. Eagles have a couple great tight ends. Obviously, quarterback's a mismatch with New England. Wide receiving core is better in Philadelphia. Running backs are better in Philadelphia. I mean, there's so many reasons why picking the Eagles is not a dumb thing to do.
I'm not saying it's a dumb thing to do.
I picked the Pats to win the Super Bowl from day one, right? And at the very end here, I'm going against that.
Because you don't want to see them win.
No, it's not that I don't want to see him win. It's that, that's another thing is, just because you pick against somebody doesn't mean it's because you don't want to see him win. Of course I don't want to see him win.
I'm not seeing that. I'm not saying that's why you're picking against them. Well, I mean, that is why you're picking.
That is specifically what you're saying.
You're picking against the Patriots because you don't like them.
Okay, if I pick the Patriots to win the Super Bowl in August.
But you're not picking them now.
Because of who they're playing. Because I think the Eagles are a better team.
Who did you originally pick to go to the Super Bowl?
So in August I picked Pats Seahawks, and then I decided against that a couple months into the season, and I picked Pats Saints. And that's what I've been riding with, and then that obviously didn't happen, thanks to Stephon Diggs. But I don't think it's ludicrous to say that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. It doesn't really flow off the tongue because it's never happened before, but there's a good chance. I mean, I'm just saying, dude. New England's defense. Let's talk about the defense versus the offense real quick, because obviously that's going to be a weakness right there. I mean, the same thing with the Eagles' defense. The Eagles have a pretty decent defense, but New England's defense, they've improved a lot since the beginning of the season, where they were absolutely horrendous. But I just look at the Eagles' offense. I look at all those weapons they have on the offense. I mean, they got one of the best wide receivers in the league in Alshon Jeffrey. They've got like an insane amount of receivers to throw to. Nelson Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, Brent Selleck, Zach Ertz. I mean, they got all these dudes to throw the ball to, right? Like they got a bunch of dudes to throw to. Then in the backfield, you've got Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount. One of the best running back tandems in the league.
Oh, I mean, that probably is the best running back tandem in the league. It's going to be fun to see what they can do against that Patriots defense. However, I'm not completely sold that, I mean, the Patriots are here for a reason.
Well, so are the Eagles.
I'm not saying that.
The Eagles won a better conference. The Eagles won the better conference.
Yeah, this year for sure, definitely.
I mean, Alex, who did the Pats play in the divisional round?
They played the Titans, if I'm not mistaken.
It took you a minute to think about it, didn't it?
Yeah, because I forgot that game happened.
Yeah, exactly. The Patriots had probably the easiest path to Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life. They literally had to beat Tennessee and Jackson, an inexperienced Jacksonville.
Think about this for a minute. If I tell you 3 years ago, the Patriots are going to play the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars in their way to the Super Bowl, how weird would have that sounded?
Exactly.
The AFC South out here representing. And that would be the last two teams you would have picked 3 years ago. If I said two teams from the AFC South are making the playoffs, who's going to be?
Two teams I would have picked. So that's what I'm saying. Is like people talk about how great the Pats are, and they are. They're amazing. They got the best coach ever and the best quarterback ever. Blah 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 blah. I get it. But like the Eagles are looking good right now. They're looking real good. They just beat the Vikings 38-7.
I hope you're right.
38-7. The Pats almost lost. The Pats should have lost. They shouldn't even be here right now.
Who's your Super Bowl MVP?
So the Eagles are going to win. Oh, that's a tough one. You know what? I guess I got to go Nick Foles just because they pretty much always seem to give it to a running back. I mean, not a running back, a quarterback. I mean, it's going to be Nick Foles, I guess.
I'm going to go with James White. Go Badgers.
James White.
He should have been the MVP last year.
I mean,
he had 3 touchdowns. The game-winning touchdown.
You're right.
Yep.
You could argue with that.
Justin Timberlake. What's going to be the highlight of his halftime show?
Please don't talk to me about that. I don't care. People make such a big deal about the halftime show. I don't even watch it. I don't care.
Oh, you're not going to watch it?
No, I'm not going to watch it. I have not watched a halftime show since probably Beyonce when the Ravens were in the Super Bowl.
Are we going to forget that the last time Justin Timberlake? Did I say Justin?
No, we're not going to forget it because everybody's talking about that. We know, Everybody's been talking about that today.
Talking about what? Talking about what?
Are you talking about Janet Jackson thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about that.
So you think he's gonna do it
No,
again?
they're not gonna let us forget it.
Think he's gonna do it again? Expose a
Do what
breast?
again?
Maybe his own?
No. Probably. I mean, if he does his own, then I think we're all gonna love that. I love
Like
to
if
see
he just
a
rips
couple.
it.
What if he exposes his own nipple just like in honor of what happened?
That's
last
what I'm
night?
saying. Yeah, I think you should do
Like
that.
if he doesn't do that, there's a problem.
Exactly.
That would be pretty amazing. I can't lie. So officially, let's say who we got. Who you got, Alex?
I got the New England Patriots 21-17.
Oh, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. You ready? 28-21.
Okay, no field goals. No respect to the
field
kickers.
goals. No field. No, no, not really. Not this time.
Fair enough. That does move on. The NFL honors, however, will be tomorrow, where you'll pick some winners and whatnot and stuff. The MVP will be announced. We'll pick who we think will win the MVP, the Offensive Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year, and the Coach of the Year. We'll be pretty close on all of them, I imagine. But let's shoot our shots. Then we'll get to Marques Ogden. Let's start with MVP.
Okay, so you told me before the show we don't know if they've been leaked or
No,
whatever. I don't know.
not all of them.
Okay, so I don't know. We obviously know Alvin Kamara is the rookie, the offensive rookie of the year. But my MVP, I don't know if he's gonna win it because it seems like quarterbacks always win this award, so it'll probably be Brady. But I gotta go. My MVP is Todd Gurley II.
My MVP is also Todd Gurley II. I don't think it would be smart to give it to Brady, just given that Todd Gurley had this good of a season.
And if you watched the Rams play, if you had Todd Gurley, if you watched the Rams play, if you had Todd Gurley in fantasy, whatever, you saw how much they used Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
it was unreal.
He was fun. Yes.
I mean, the offense ran through Todd Gurley. Like Jared Goff had a great season. It was fantastic, and I kind of hate the Rams, went out so early. But Todd Gurley that dude, he had such a bounce back year. It was amazing, just amazing. Good job, Todd.
Good job,
Todd.
Todd.
That's my MVP, and I'm gonna keep going with that. Offensive Player of the Year is also Todd Gurley II.
I'm going to take Tom Brady in Offensive Player of the Year. Usually, if it's a race this close, they give one and then the other one to the other.
See, I was looking at the past Offensive Player of the Year awards and the MVPs, and it seems like just about every year it's the same person.
Really? Well, last year it wasn't,
Yeah.
right?
Last year it was.
It was Matt Ryan for both?
Last year was Matt Ryan. 2015, Cam Newton. One of the exceptions was 2014 when Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. DeMarco Murray was the Offensive Player of the Year.
I thought Ezekiel Elliott was the Offensive Player of the Year last year.
Nope, not according to what I'm looking at.
Weird. Apparently, I'm just full of it.
Well, you've always been full of it.
So then I guess Todd Gurley II will be our Offensive Player of the Year again. Or also, I should say.
As he should. I mean, I've never understood how you could ever give it to a different person. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. You're absolutely correct.
So, moving on from that, what are we doing next? Defensive Player of the Year?
Let's go Depoy.
Depoy. It's a tough one because it's two dudes on the Jaguars who I feel really kind of deserve it.
I agree.
Calais Campbell. I think Calais Campbell will probably win it, but my pick is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I got Calais Campbell. I think he's got it in the bag, man. That guy had a monster year.
14.5 sacks.
Yeah.
He killed it.
He killed it.
Jalen Ramsey. The thing about Jalen Ramsey is I don't like the dude. I don't really care for him that much. But it's just he's so fun to watch. I mean, he did a great job of shutting Gronk down. I mean, he got hurt in the AFC Championship, but he shut him down pretty much until then. And he's just fun. He talks so much trash and he backs it up. Like, I mean, my
other than the fact he said we're going to the Super Bowl, we're going to win that bitch. But
do you know? Did you see how close they got?
Well, they still had to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, right. Which I think if Jacksonville's playing Philadelphia, I think Jacksonville wins.
I wish that would have been the Super Bowl. That would have been so great.
I mean, I think they were so close. Like, it still upsets me because they should have won that game. They should have won that game, and Jalen Ramsey should be in the Super Bowl right now. But it is what it is. Coach of the Year, who you got?
Sean McVay of the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Sean McVay too. there's so many good coaches it could be. Honestly,
Yeah.
Like,
got options here.
for me, it was between him and Mike Zimmer of the Vikings, because I just feel like all of a sudden these two teams just kind of came out of nowhere, and like Case Keenum was doing well. I mean, you know what I mean for the Vikings.
Doug
but,
Peterson of the Eagles is an option.
Doug Marrone of the Jaguars. I mean, there's a bunch of dudes who it could be, but I think McVay, with how young he is and really how young that team is and how well they were able to do, that offense was insane. Yeah, I gotta go Sean McVay.
Awesome. Well, let's go from current NFL players to a former NFL player, Marques Ogden, the brother of Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Famer. He is a former NFL player and a current inspirational, motivational speaker. Let's jump into Marques Ogden. We are joined now by former NFL player and current motivational speaker, Mr. Marques Ogden, also a recurring guest. Marques, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How about you guys? Everything going okay?
Everything's going fantastic. Thank you for asking. So how's life, Marques? What's going on since the last time we spoke?
Life's good. I'm doing a lot of inspirational speaking all around the country. I'm doing some work coming up with the National Football League Player Engagement Office, where I'm actually going to be teaching current NFL players the art of how to public speak, along with how to become and build their own brands during and after their NFL careers.
And we're going to get a little bit into your story here in a little bit. I know we talked about it last time you were on, but just for the people that may not know. But my first question is, how did you really become such a great, public speaker? I mean, where did that talent come from?
Literally, I've always been a good communicator my whole life, but what happened was I did my first speaking job, and I got some critique and feedback on how to really tell my story, but also how to make it where it's like a balloon, or where it's like a thread going through a balloon. And once I learned how to engage audiences based off a short story from my life that really dealt with or was around the theme or topic I've been hired for, and then I would I call it my custom UP story, and then I would have teaching points near the end of my presentation to help hammer home the point. Things started going for me much better.
And Marques, I want to ask, what advice do you have? And you mentioned you're going to be doing some clinics with national football players, but what advice do you have for players, maybe getting out of the game and looking to do some of these motivational speaking gigs and whatnot? What advice do you have for those players?
I would tell them that they have to start small. It's imperative to get what I call build up your archives, videos, reference letters, testimonials, getting people to say things about your capabilities is much more important than what you say about yourself. So I started by going to my inner circle, and I actually ended up getting one of my clients who I coached both his sons in football, gave me my first speaking job back in 2014 for a company called NetApp. And then that's kind of how I started. But again, it's all about building your archive and getting people to trust and believe that you can deliver what you say you can deliver.
Now, Marques, I know my story probably isn't even close to as amazing, spectacular, and entertaining as yours is, but maybe give me and Vic a couple of tips if we're trying to be the best public speaker ever.
So what I would tell you is, whatever you're talking, okay, for example, I'm an executive coach now, where I help clients with how to tell the story for public speaking. I've got a client, right? So he wants to talk about sales. He's got leadership. Those are his main verticals. Well, I started with him saying, hey, Chris, tell me a little bit about your story, your backstory. Well, come to find out, after hearing him talk about his backstory for about 10 minutes, he was coached in high school by Nate Hibble's father. Nate Hibble, who was the Oklahoma quarterback who won the national championship back in 2003. Well, because his father's name was Tom Hibble. So I told Chris, I said, hey, man, that is an engaging story that you should open up your presentations with, because when people hear Nate Hibble or hear Oklahoma National Championship and you were playing for his father, that's going to really get the attention of the audience. So I tell people all the time, it's critical, whatever you're talking about, either leadership, transitions. I'll give you an example. So for me, talking about leadership, I open up with a short story about how when I was 15 years old, I met Bill Belichick when he was
Oh, wow.
fired from the Browns and worked for the Ravens.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's important to have a short story to open up your audience that's going to engage them. And then your custom suit, basically your who you are, should really be featured around the theme that you're hired for. And then the teaching points near the end of the presentation should be teaching points that the audience can pull out of their own lives and start to implement so they can start becoming more successful in their own lives. So if you're able to tell a short story in the beginning, grab the attention, have the custom suit or your story relate to the theme, and then close with some great, with a great call to actions, other teaching points they can take home, you could be a successful speaker as well.
Wow. Incredible.
And I mentioned earlier that we're going to get into your story a little bit. So obviously, it's hard for a lot of NFL. There's a whole 30 for 30 called broke or whatever that was called, about how athletes after they retire or they just get out of the league, they blow all their money and they end up going bankrupt. So there was a big story about you. You spent what, $2 million in 90 days, something like that. So
That's right. That's right.
So can you run through that just briefly for me? And what happened?
I mean, not a problem. After I got the NFL, I struggled with transition. I was at the rock bottom mentally and emotionally, and I decided to try to restart myself, and I started a construction company. Grew into the largest minority-based construction company in the state of Maryland for 2 years. We did about anywhere between $12 to $15 million of revenue in 2011, 2012. And then in 2012, in the summer, I took on a job for a big client, Turner Construction, and I ended up hitting a snag where I had to spend $2 million in 90 days unexpectedly. And when I went to get paid back that money that I had spent, the owner and developer denied my change order, and I went bankrupt.
Wow. And Marques, what did the bounce back, how do you bounce back for that? What was your bounce back?
I have been watching a lot of, through my speaking and picking up tips and getting much better at my craft. I was watching something by Mel Robbins, who's one of the number one speakers in the world. She's one of the top female speakers in the world. And she said, motivation is garbage. And she's right. When you think about it, I didn't have to get, you never feel motivated to do anything beyond your comfort zone. You either are inspired by something, you do it, but more than likely, if you're really, truly serious about it, you make a decision to change your life, and you start implementing that decision. And my life-changing, or I call it my decision moment, was when I ended up hitting rock bottom in 2013. I was a football coach, and I was a hardworking part-time janitor. And I said, if I don't make a change, I'm going to spend the rest of my life hating society, blaming other people for my failures, and not making a difference in this world. So I made the decision that it was time to get off my ass and go out there and face my fears of failure and being told, Marques, you stink at this, and Marques, it's not your calling. And I dealt with that. I was ridiculed. I was criticized. I was mocked. I was broken for trying to become a speaker. Everybody said, Marques, let's become a football coach. So I made the decision that no matter what people told me, I was going to push through to the end of the tunnel. I didn't know when that was going to be, but I kept pushing through. And eventually, I got my first paid job in 2016, and I have not looked back.
And Marques, how important is it for players to find something they're passionate about and kind of latch onto that and work on that after they get out of their sport?
If you end up doing a job, or as one of my clients I work with calls it, job, just over broke, working something to build somebody else's wealth and their passion, you're never going to truly find happiness, and eventually your light will extinguish and it will burn out. You have to try to find something that you're passionate about. Yes, you have to pay the bills. I'm not saying you don't have to do that. But if you have a job, you should be working part-time to build your passion. For example, I was coaching football to the youth. I was a hardworking janitor. I did football track-out camps. I did 707 Summer League. While I built up and worked my butt off at nights and weekends to build up my speaking business, to the point where I took the full-time plunge, and I would say probably probably early 2017, I took the full-time plunge to stop doing my 707 camp and track out camp, and I went full-time plunge into speaking. The only thing I do now is I do a little part-time coaching still for some kids that I feel special, want them to have the best opportunity to succeed in football on and off the field. But again, so now I have an online program that's coming out in February called the Expert Speaking Academy. I have I do executive coaching. I have my speaking engagement. I have my leadership academy, and I get endorsements, and I have branding deals. That is my main 5 quadrants. And then circling those 5 quadrants would be doing some football coaching to a couple select kids and, high school and below. And I actually have a couple guys in the NFL as well that I work with, not very many, but a few, just that need help. Offensive linemen. I've actually got a couple starting tackles in the NFL today that I work with as well.
And, just to go back, a little bit earlier in your life a little bit, I just have a quick question. This is a little random, but we've been talking a lot about nicknames on the show. And so I want to know, Marques, did you ever have a nickname when you were growing up or while you were playing or anything like that? Because I didn't have any fun nicknames. So how about you?
No, just Little J.O. People start calling me Little J.O. Jonathan Oz, Little Jonathan Oz, and that's what I got stuck with ever since I got into the league. I retired. I mean, it's like you play offensive line and your teammates play against him, and everybody you would play against plays against him. So I just kept getting called Little J.O. for as long as I can remember in the NFL.
So, Marques, we talked why we bring up nicknames is obviously the XFL talking about returning. They had the big thing where they had the nickname on the back of the jersey. So let's say, I know this won't probably not what you're interested, but in the case it was to happen, you sign an XFL contract. What name would you be putting on the back of your jersey?
Grinder.
Grinder.
Ooh. Yep. That was what I would put on my grind. I don't know if you guys know this, but I guess when we I guess it was when we talked. I got pulled out of retirement by the CFL. I went to Saskatchewan to play offensive tackle for Saskatchewan, and I enjoyed it. But they were kind of weird. Like it was like, we took like in one practice we took like 500 one-on-one pass rush reps.
Wow!
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was horrifying. I'm like, why am I here? I said, this is not going to do me. Like, I'm going to go up there and make $60K before tax Canadian, and then get double tax, lose sight of my core business, and then have to go through all this. Like, I'm like, why are we freaking in, like, it's like we're in training camp or mini camp, and we haven't run any, like, Pascal, any, no install. I'm like, all they did was they had us out there doing wide receiver DB one-on-one and one-on-one pass rush, linebackers rush running backs on air, wide receiver DBs on air, O-line, D-line pass rush, no helmets, no pads. So basically you're saying that you want the defense to pretty much win all the time because you don't have anything realistic, no running the football, no pass, no play action. It's just straight drop back, pass protect every time. I'm like, dude, like, this is retarded. Like, this is not what I signed up for. So I said, nah, I'm good. I said, I'm pass.
Fair. So how long did you last in Saskatchewan then?
Oh, I was there all camp. I was there in camp, and they wanted me to go up to training camp. At that time, I was like, nope. I was like, after mini camp, I was in Dodgertown, Florida, which it was a great experience. It was just nice. It's just nice to kind of add to the story. I mean, 37 years old. Well, I was 36 years old. 36 years old. I hadn't played football. I had it for a couple of years. Asked to come out of retirement. How they found me, I really don't know. I mean, I guess they found it from I post a lot on Instagram of my teaching of my tackles and my high school linemen. I guess they saw I was in pretty good shape, and they said, "Hey, why don't you come out and do this?" And I did it, and the guys in the D-line called me, grandpa, old man, all that kind of stuff. But they all said that by far that I was the toughest person they had to go against the whole time. Like,
Right.
That was like throughout the whole. I mean, I know the game. I mean, yeah, I'm 37 years old, but I'm in pretty good shape, and I know the game very well. I know angles very well. So it wasn't. But again, when you're playing again, the biggest D lineman was probably maybe 230. I'm talking D tackle and D end, because again, CFL is a heavy pass league. So we had some kids that weighed 170, 180 pounds. I'm like, this is not even realistic. Like, let me get down the stance and hit him in the mouth on a stretch right, and then see if he wants to kind of come at me and run full speed after a couple stretch rights, a couple 34 leads downhill. See how he likes that. But when I'm dropping back past the tech and he's running forward all the time, I'm like, well, hell. I mean, eventually, I'm going to lose battles eventually, but I mean, I won a hell of a lot more than I lost.
I believe that, Marcus, and I want to bring up, obviously, other than the NFL, you also did some indoor football, and you brought up the you called it a weird experience in Saskatchewan. So, last question before we jump into the Super Bowl stuff. I want to know, what are some other weird experiences, maybe indoor, obviously weird transitions from the NFL, and even college football to the NFL, and then to indoor to Saskatchewan. What are those transitions like, and any weird times you had?
Yeah, it's speed in the game from college to NFL, and then it's the practice facilities from the NFL to arena, and then it's the amount of time you have to work from arena back up to the CFL, and it's just very different. And I loved playing arena ball in my mid to late 20s. That was fun, but never expected to do anything other than have fun. I was running my construction business at that time, so I was really enjoying myself. So again, I never truly expected anything more than just having fun. The CFL was totally expected. It was kind of like a little funny thing to the story. So again, it's just speed of the game. Of course, talent level. I played D line in arena, and I played O line in NFL, CFL. So it was just it's just different. Different degrees of separation. Everything is a little bit different.
Right, and we're gonna hop into the Super Bowl real quick because that's obviously one of the main reasons we had you on. It's Super Bowl week. I know we're all excited. I don't know. I hope you're excited too. So I guess I gotta ask first is who you got?
New England. I mean, I'm not a fan. I don't want them to win. I just don't. I mean, I again, Nick Foles. If Philadelphia had Carson Wentz, I'd be much more likely to say they're going to win. But without him, and then you got Nick Foles, who's not bad, but he's not good. He's not like a superstar. And then, it's like Philadelphia's got a good D line. They really do. But again, you're playing, in a dome. So which favors, in my opinion, New England. You got, a guy. So basically, I'm looking at the experience of New England against the inexperience of the Eagles. And again, I really hope I'm wrong. I do think that the Eagles have a better chance than the Vikings did. I don't think Case Keenum was the answer. I don't think he would take the pressure. I'd rather have Nick Foles than Case Keenum for sure.
No, so I want to hear right now. What are some keys to the games, or some keys to the game for both the Eagles and the Pats? If the Eagles want to get this dub, what do they have to do? Same for the Pats.
If the Eagles want to win the football game, they have got to do three things. Number one, they've got to get to Tom Brady. If you don't get to Tom Brady and you don't get him rattled, forget it. Number two is they got to get explosive plays, 20 yards or more. They've got to get plays that stretch the field. New England's secondary is not stellar. It's not bad, but it's not stellar. So you've got to take advantage of that. And then on top of that is if he plays, which I think he probably will. I don't see how he won't play. They've got to shut down Gronk across the middle and going on the corner routes. They've got to do that. New England, they got to win. They got to win in the air. They've got to keep Tom Brady clean. They have got to stop the run. They've got to stop LeGarrette Blount, and they've got to stop Michael Ajayi. And then, for God's sakes, at some point, they got to get a pass rush. At some point, the D-line's got to say, man, I'm tired of getting my ass kicked up front. And I know they're not really a pass rush team, but at least press the pocket and at least get, some stuff going in that direction. At least get the pocket going in that manner,
Absolutely, Marcus. And our final question for you, you've been great with your time. We went a little over what you wanted, I'm sorry. But our last question for you, and we know your answer to it, but we need to hear the reasoning why. Is Tom Brady the best to ever do it?
There's no question. Like, the man's been to Super Bowl what? It's going to be his 8th time? Like,
Yep.
eight times. He's going for 6 wins. I mean, he's won, what? I think I saw 27 playoff games?
Yep.
He's thrown I think it's what? How many? It's he's got 45 touchdowns in playoff history. I mean, what's the argument? Do I like him as a person? He's a good person. I mean, he's not any bad or anything. Do I like him as a player? He's a great player. So I think he's an actual I think he's a little bit of a arrogant guy sometimes, sure, but he's kind of earned that in some retrospect. But I mean, there's no argument. Anyone that says there's an argument, it's really crazy. I mean, and again, I'm not a New England fan by any means of the imagination, but I'm gonna call it like it is too. The man is the best to ever play the game as a quarterback. It's just the way it is.
Bingo. Well, Marcus, thank you so much for your time. You can find Marcus on Twitter at Marcus, MarQues _Ogden, OGDEN, or at MarcusOgdenPublicSpeaker.com. Marcus, thank you so much for joining us today on the Bandwagon.
Oh, no, man. It's been great, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
And we are back. Thank you so much for Marques Ogden for joining us on the Bandwagon, for entering the wagon.
Entering the wagon. I love it.
Wow, if you want to know why I brought us back, it's because Alex made me. So it's all right though.
You're putting on many hats, Victor. We're gonna ease you into transitions and
I'm gonna steal your job one day.
Maybe the Bandwagon will be completely you at one point.
I mean, it should be anyway. It should have already happened, but it's all right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So this is a big weekend.
The people love you.
This is a big weekend for football, isn't it?
It really. Well, I mean, yeah, we already went over that.
Super Bowl, NFL honors, the Hall of Fame inductees are announced.
That's true.
So I believe there's 5 of them going in, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's 6 because the contributor I think gets in, or something.
Yes.
And then the senior finalists or one of the 2 get in. So the senior finalists are linebacker Robert Brazile and guard Jerry Kramer. I think one of the Go Packers, Jerry Kramer. They've been trying to get him in forever. I think one of the 2 of them gets in.
Okay.
And then there's only one contributor finalist. So I don't know if it's just so the Hall of Fame's senior committee selects 2 senior finalists to be voted on as well as one contributor, and then announces. I'm confused. I don't know how that works, but I think they get in, and then it's just the rest of them. I don't know how this works, Victor. Help! I'm overwhelmed.
Wow, that was really you. That's bad. Essentially, there's a few guys going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Who should be going in the Hall of Fame, in your opinion, Alex?
So, Victor, I guess we can probably whittle this down to 5 people together. I mean, obviously, Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher are musts.
100%.
Brian Dawkins is probably a must.
I don't know if he's a must, no.
But Randy Moss and Terrell Owens are also musts. There's so many good
Randy
names.
Moss is a must, for sure.
I think almost every finalist this year could get in at some point.
Right. Probably.
Because, I mean, Steve Hutchison, Alan Faneka, both phenomenal, 2 of the best guards of all time, and they might not even get in this year. Then you have 2 great safeties, and John Lynch and Brian Dawkins on the list. Ty Law, former Patriot, is on the list. A lot of good names on this list. Isaac Bruce, the wide receiver's on there.
Yeah.
Everson Walls, Tony Baselli's on there.
It's going to be really tough. So once again, if we're just going to pick 5 from the 15 finalists, we're going to pick 5 dudes, right? Or not, maybe not. Is it 15? Yeah, 15. Right. If you're going to pick 5 of the 15, you got to go Ray Lewis, got to go Urlacher, got to go Moss.
Yeah.
I would think the committee apparently doesn't agree with us. I would think Terrell Owens is 100% in there.
Right, I agree, but he won't be.
Probably not. And then it's kind of like that 5th spot's a little iffy for me, anyway.
Well, you didn't pick. Oh, yeah, I guess this is your 5.
Right.
I don't think Owens will be in there. It's a thing.
Okay, probably not.
Which he should be. He's a top 3 receiver of all time. I mean, he's 100% a top 3 receiver of all time. It's Rice, and then some order of either Moss or Owens at number 2, and then Moss or Owens at number 3. Like, 2 of the 3 best receivers should get in this year. I mean, you got somebody better?
I'm thinking.
Calvin Johnson's up there, but he's not better than those 3.
Yeah. Donald Driver.
Okay, yep, nope. Derek
He
Mason.
wasn't even a finalist. He didn't make it through.
Yeah, well, I'm so shocked. Is he eligible?
I think he was this year, yeah. Maybe it's next year. I might be wrong.
Well, regardless, I think that 5th spot's going to be interesting. Edgerrin James is a name you didn't mention. That's really good.
That's on there, yeah.
I mean, he was a great 3-tool back. He could do about everything. Brian Dawkins, as you mentioned, is good. It's tough, man. It's really tough.
No, you're absolutely correct, man. It's so I think the 5 I'll go with is Lewis, Urlacher, Moss, Owens, and Dawkins or Lynch.
Yeah, I'm thinking Lewis, Urlacher, Moss, Owens, Lynch. That's who I'm going with. But I don't think Owens is getting in. I don't think T.O.'s getting in, but he should. Because how long are they going to be able to rag him for being a quote-unquote bad teammate?
Yeah,
like,
that's absolutely correct.
How long can that really go on? You know, if I didn't already have something else to talk about, that would be my soapbox. 100% would be my soapbox on this show. Because it doesn't make any sense to, like, if you look at across all of the Hall of Fames and all of professional sports, there's some bad people in the Hall of Fame in some of these sports. I mean, and then the fact that, you know, guys like Barry Bonds, for example, will get are getting considered for being in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. They'll get in eventually. Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds will get in eventually, but they cheated at their sport.
Right.
And you're not going to let T.O. in because he made people upset in the locker room? Like, what? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, there was a good documentary kind of about T.O. I think it's A Football Life, and it talks about, you know, kind of the fact, he was pretty much a shitty teammate. And we had Jeff Garcia on last month, and he kind of touched on that a little bit too. But no, he's
not as bad as there's no chance he's as bad as people think he is.
No, right? No, you're right.
I mean, because Garcia didn't say.
So I guess we'll see.
Garcia didn't say a bad word about him. I mean, maybe just because he just don't want to talk trash.
Other than the fact that he did a little bit. But
I mean, not really.
Not trash.
I mean, well, we all know that. Pretty much what I got from the Garcia interview when we talked to him was that he was fun to be on the field with and all this stuff. Like, he was just a fun dude. And I mean, he got upset. He could be angry, yell at you, and all that. At the end of the day, he's an outrageous dude. He's fun. Like, that's what I got from Garcia. I didn't get any bad vibes of like he was a cancer in the locker room or anything like that.
Fair enough.
Like, I just don't see anything like that. But you know what? We'll see on Saturday. We'll see what happens. See who gets in. All I'm happy about is my dude Ray Lewis is getting in. 100%.
No doubt.
There's no doubt. If there's one lock in this class, it's Ray Lewis. So, I mean, he's the greatest at his position. I heard somebody say today, actually. I heard somebody say Ray Lewis is the only player in this class that is the best ever at his position. I mean, and it's the truth. You got dudes who are close, but nobody is the greatest at their position in this class. So, congrats to Ray Lewis in advance. He's the man. I don't care what anybody says about whatever murder accusations. I don't care about that.
I was just about to say he killed somebody and he's about to kill his Hall of Fame speech.
I mean, yeah, he didn't kill anybody. Whatever. Go Ravens.
So anyway, let's move on. Let's get really angry. Things make you angry when people talk about Ray Lewis killing somebody. What else do you get angry about?
That's one of the biggest things. Alex, listen, I've been waiting for this. Ever since this happened to me, I've been waiting to talk to you about it. I haven't mentioned it to you at all. Yeah, I got to rant. I got to rant about something real quick.
Oh boy.
So the other night, right? I'm in the podcast lab right now, which is in the journalism school at Carolina. So I was just working in the journalism school upstairs, in some like it's like a suite. So it's like a little room. It's like with a conference table in the middle, and then like a couple of offices around it. So there's nobody in the offices. Nothing was going on in the offices. So I'm just sitting at the conference table, doing some homework. I'm just chilling, not doing much anything. I had to charge my camera because I had a video project for one of my journalism classes. So I'm just chilling, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, dang, I got to urinate. So I walk out the door. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shut the door real quick because I don't want anybody to steal my stuff. I don't think anybody's going to steal my stuff, but I'm going to shut the door real quick and head out. So I shut the door. I go urinate and all that stuff. And I come back to the room. The door is like, it's like how you would see, it's like a screened-in door on a home.
Okay.
It's sturdier than that, but it's got like a big window in the door, so you can see this. You can see the room. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go to jiggle the door handle, it's locked. Alex, it's locked. It's about 6:50 p.m. Okay, to give you a little perspective on what's going on. So it's 6:50 p.m. I notice my stuff's locked. All right.
Yep.
What doesn't really happen a lot at 6:50 p.m. at a school?
Things don't open.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of classes and whatnot going on at 6:50. So I'm walking around. The journalism school has 4 floors. I'm walking around trying to find somebody to open this door for me because, Alex, in this room I have my phone, my laptop, my book bag, my camera that I need for my project. I got everything. All my stuff's in that room. The only thing I have are my keys and my wallet. That's it.
Oh boy.
So
real survival going on here.
Yeah, it got that way. So I was walking around the school, and 6:50 turned into 7:50.
Oh no.
7:50 turned into 8:50.
Bullshit. This is not real.
8:50 turned into 9:50. 9:50 turned into 10:50.
This is a lie.
I was in there till, are you ready? I didn't get into the room till 11:13 p.m.
What happened?
I was walking around for 4.5 hours in this one building. I wandered forever. Alex, I wandered forever.
How did you get in?
I started to realize the fact. I was like, it was like 11 o'clock. I'm like, you know what? I guess this is the one night that the janitors have off because they're not coming in. I don't see a soul. I mean, it comes to the fact where I'm the only person in the building, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So I'm still sitting here. I actually came to the podcast lab, and I was sitting here for a minute, and I heard something rustle outside the door, and I'm like, oh, gotta jump! I gotta get this. So I jump up, run out there, and this dude, this custodian, is about to go up the elevator, and I look at him, I'm like, please, can you let me in? Like, I need something here, right? And he looks at me, and he's like, yeah, we're not supposed to be, unlocking doors for people. And I look at him, and I think I look so distressed that he was just like, all right, man, let me see your ID, and we can work something out. So I finally got in. It was 11:13 at night. And here's the thing. Here's the treat for y'all. I felt like I was on a deserted island by myself, and I was going crazy, and this was the end of life for me. So I actually, as this was going on, I wrote a couple journal entries. I'd like to read. I wrote 3 journal entries as this is happening. I would like to read them if you don't mind.
Of course not. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So this first one, let's see what time this was. It was 9:12. Right. So
how are you writing these on your phone? I thought you didn't have your phone.
I didn't. I came to the podcast lab and I wrote them on Facebook.
Wow.
Not like to everyone, but like I wrote them. I needed some way to write them. I don't know why I chose Facebook. That's a good. Okay. Anyway, so 9:12. So remember this happened at 6:50. So this is almost it's 2.5 hours after I was initially locked out. It's day 137. Still no signs of life. I found a bag of pretzels. They lasted me less than an hour.
Is this real? Did you actually find a bag of pretzels?
I had $1 and went to the vending machine.
Okay.
It's cold. I'm hungry. I don't know how much longer I can last. I feel like I've been going in circles, and honestly, there's no way to tell. All I can do is push forward. The search continues. Okay? So, at 10:01...
This will never be topped. I can't top this.
At 10:01, an hour later, I say, it's day 213. I believed I had found life. Boy, was I wrong. Being in situations like these really enhance your senses. I can hear everything from every floor. I can feel footsteps from yards away. Though even these improved senses haven't been able to improve where I am. I'm lonely, I'm exhausted, and dare I say it, I'm afraid. I have trekked through floor after floor, hallway after hallway, and staircase after staircase. It all looks the same to me now. I know every inch of this godforsaken place. The classroom with the door slightly ajar and a misplaced jacket on one of the seats, that's on the ground floor, just a couple of feet away from the flickering light that occasionally turns on when you walk by it. The cardboard box laying about 6 inches from the recycling bin, someone having been too lazy to put it in there, that's on the first floor. The only location in the building with half the ceiling with tiles missing, that's on the third floor. I'm starting to think I'm a part of someone's sick game, like they're watching my every move. I attempted to pick the lock. No luck. I'm not sure I'll ever make it out. Only time will tell. For now, I must go on with my journey. The grind only stops when my brittle knees can go no further. The search continues. By the way,
This is the
I did try to
most
pick.
fantastic thing I've ever heard.
I did try to pick the lock. I got a paper clip, and I looked like a straight criminal trying to get into this room. It was actually pretty bad.
That would have been a great time for the dean of the school to walk in.
I would have gotten expelled on the spot. So the final entry was at 10:54, about 15 minutes. Or no, yeah, about 15 minutes before I finally was led into the room. It's day 289. I have almost given up. My feet ache. My knees are moments away from giving out. My food supply is long gone. My energy level is next to zero. I have just about come to terms with the fact that nobody is coming. Nobody can save me. Nobody has the answers. I will be here in this constant loop for eternity. Whoever is playing this game, they've done a fantastic job. At this point, I'd chew off one of my limbs if it meant getting myself out of here with my belongings.
Wow.
There's no chance of being hopeful, no reason to smile. I am trapped. My blatant error of closing that door will be the mistake that defines my time on this earth. I want to keep going. I want to keep pushing. But I know that it will be to no avail. I know that no matter how much work I put in, the loop will continue. I will never find life. But for you, and for my sanity, I will trek some more. I have no energy, no motivation, but I know that there could always be the off chance that a God-sent miracle will appear. Guess that means I'll update you later. The search continues.
That is the single-handedly most ridiculous thing I've ever heard on this entire show.
Is that the most ridiculous thing? Alex, I was wandering
What the hell is wrong with you, Victor?
I was wandering around this building, and I legit thought I was in an alternate universe. I felt like people couldn't see me, and because I would walk past a couple students here and there. This is at a 9 o'clock, not 11 o'clock. But I'm just walking around, and I feel like people are looking at me, but they're just seeing through me. It was the worst time. I don't think I could ever have a worse 4-hour span ever. I don't think it's possible. So there you go.
I can't talk anymore. You ruined me.
I'm sorry, dude.
I wanted to talk about how stupid Stephen A. Smith was. I wanted to talk about cute puppies in basketball, but I can't do it right now. You just blew my mind. I can't. I'm done. I'm done with the show. We're done here.
No, we're not done. We're not done. You gotta keep going. Keep pushing. Because the thing is, Alex, sometimes you don't find life. Sometimes you don't find happiness. And sometimes it'll seem like you can't continue. But just as I learned on my search through Carroll Hall, is that no matter what, the search must continue. Because one day, one moment will change your life forever, as it did me. So I think we should continue with the show. I think you should talk about Stephen A. Smith a little bit, and I think we should keep rocking. I just want you to know Alex left. Alex is gone. I don't know where he is. So I'm gonna continue. I guess I'm gonna keep rocking this thing. I'm gonna go solo. That was really awkward. I apologize. So I guess it's time for me to jump into our real segment, our main segment, our cornerstone segment. That's jumping on a bandwagon. So you know what? I was serious in that segment. I was serious in Soapbox, and I'm gonna have to continue to be serious for my bandwagon. There was some tragic news this past week, where former NBA player Rasual Butler and his wife got into a car crash. His wife Leah LaBelle got into a car accident, and unfortunately both were tragically killed. So I'm jumping on the bandwagon right now of brotherly love, because as soon as the NBA world erupted, as the news about Rasual Butler came out, every single NBA player, it seemed like, from Rashard Lewis, Danny Green, everybody, Terrence Ross of the Magic, everybody seemed to erupt with, pictures of him on Instagram and stories of him on Twitter, and how much this dude, who, he wasn't the most productive player in the NBA. I think he averaged 7.5 points per game, but not anything crazy. He wasn't a superstar. But just, talking about how crazy it was that this happened to such a good guy. I think he was only like 38 years old. He had, he had a great life. He was like the life of so many locker rooms. He played on a bunch of different teams in the NBA. But it seemed like every single person genuinely loved this guy. Even though he wasn't a big name. He's not a guy that was talked about in the media all the time or anything like that. But it's insane to me that I don't think I've ever seen, one person die, especially in sports. People die tragically occasionally. Jose Fernandez kind of was like this. But so many people, it was just an outpouring of, support, love, and just, it was great to see, honestly. So I'm jumping on the bandwagon of brotherly love. Rest in peace, Rasual and Leah. And you know what? I didn't know you or anything like that. Didn't really notice you when you play, because I don't notice everybody. But rest in peace for real. And thank you for being the light of so many people's lives. Alex, are you back? Okay, he's back. I could see him in the frame, but he's shaking his head. So I guess that's all I got for you guys. This will be the first time I'm ending the show for real.
Yep, you're learning. Here we go.
So
this is what we all came to see.
You know what? Great show today, Alex. Thanks, guys. I've gotten out of my comfort zone a little bit today, told some stories, got trapped in a building earlier this week. It really changed my life. I love you guys. Thanks for the support. Thank you to Marques Ogden for joining us this episode. Follow me on Twitter, @Frezeal33, FREZEAL33. I'm a man, Alex Strofe over there, the mute Alex Strofe over there. What's your Twitter, Alex? Alex_Strofe. That's STROUF for his last name. Thank you very much. Check out our website, thebandwagonpod.com. Find us on everything you can. We're going to have merchandise coming out soon. We're going to kill it. Did I shock you with that?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Cool.
I'm just kind of saying stuff, dude. The Waggies. We're going to have the Waggies in May. It's our award show. Y'all going to be ready. I'm at hype. Thank y'all for joining us today. Love you guys.
You talk too much.
Thank you for tuning in to today's edition of the Bandwagon. I said thank you for tuning in, and please tune in again.
Just kidding. Here's Stone.
What up, Miss C? It's your boy V Han.
And A-Tobe 2014.
And this is Stone. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. One day I was walking
Down the street.
I was really thirsty.
So I went to Pete's.
I had a big glass of water.
Then I had to pee.
So I ran all the way home.
And I opened up the door.
I went straight to the potty.
My bladder couldn't hold it anymore.
I lifted up the seat.
But then I began to pee.
It went from the kidneys
to the ureters.
Down to the bladder,
where it all matters.
Then through the urethra,
where I'll have to release you.
out the urinary meatus.
Then
Then it exits our penis. Later on that night,
I had a pain that I could not fight.
I was dizzy and I had to throw up.
And my temperature was as high as you know what.
I couldn't take it anymore.
So I had to go to the doctor.
Yeah, I got checked out.
Your boy was about to pass out.
Then the doctor came in.
To give me my diagnosis.
Last night I was up until 10.
Worrying about this prognosis.
He said, well, Houston, we have a problem.
And I said, whatever it is, Doc, we're gonna solve it.
I'm about to put down this microphone. It was a kidney stone.
And we out.